Hey guys, welcome to Health. Let's check out this video called, it's a another extra history video. Okay, let's just get into this. There's only 2 more videos left. We're gonna watch this and then we're gonna move on to other series. One of my subscribers, one of my viewers actually suggested me other different types of series, 2 different types of series. I'm gonna get onto them after this. Okay, but let's just get into this. Okay, it's part 11. There's only 2 more videos left. Okay, it's part 11. It's called Justinian and Theodora, the Emperor Who Never Sleeps. Okay, by Extra History, part 11. Okay, let's just watch this. I don't know. Maybe I should watch part 11 and 12. I don't know. But then again, the title is so big. I gotta put that title in the title of my reaction. But the title is so big that I can't put both of them, so I'm gonna watch the other part next week. Okay, but let's just get into this. Okay, 3 2 1, let's go. Okay, let's just get into it. Okay, and I hope I hope this thing is last time Justinian's wife actually did everything. I didn't expect that at all. I thought she was like gonna be some just a opportunistic wife getting ready for her husband to die and shit. But nah. But apparently the husband actually woke up. Justinian actually woke up in the end. So I don't know what he's gonna do now. So let's just get into it. Okay, 3 2 1, let's go.
Thanks to Theodora, the vulnerable Justinian hadn't been assassinated or supplanted, and he
Oh,
still had an
man.
empire to wake up to. But some of his enemies had kept busy during
Also, like, I love the fact that she loves Justinian so much, his wife. It's so fucking crazy. I mean, she loves him so much that she went insane when he was ill. Holy shit, that's some true love right there. Oh my god. Not many people you see nowadays are like that. You know what I mean? They're ready to cheat. Nowadays people are fucking stupid. So what do you expect? So at least good for Justinian's wife, Theodora. Good job, girl. Good job.
his long sleep. The plague had left a permanent scar on the Byzantine Empire. Nearly
Yeah,
a
the
quarter of
plague.
its
I forgot about the plague. Was fucking terrifying to look at. I couldn't forget. Even now, I can't forget that shit.
citizens lay dead. Crops had failed, trade had ground to a halt, and imperial revenues simply hadn't come in. The short-term consequences of this were apparent to anybody who saw the mass graves, but the long-term effects ran still deeper. In Italy, the Gothic tribes had rebelled. Having felt cheated by Belisarius's betrayal and unhappy
Shit.
with Roman rule, the tribes seized the opportunity to rearm and prepare for war as
Oh,
plague
shit.
gripped and weakened the hobbled empire. The signs had
Oh,
been obvious,
shit.
and yet the Byzantines had done nothing. The Gothic leadership had even squabbled and fought, leaving them vulnerable and weak, and yet the Byzantines had done nothing. Why? Because they had been even more divided. The attention of imperial court had been entirely on the east, first on the Persians and then on the plague, and so there'd been little direct oversight of Italy. Meanwhile, the question of overall command had never been settled, and so instead, dozens of Byzantine commanders operated quasi-independently across the Italian peninsula. This all meant that when the Goths had finally settled their differences and come together under a man named Totila, Italy was ripe for the conquest. As the Gothic forces swept south, the towns, which were under-garrisoned and frustrated by high Byzantine taxes, threw
Oh,
open their
shit.
doors. And when
Oh.
the Romans tried to retaliate, it only ended in disaster.
Fuck!
In one famous attempt, the Byzantine forces had actually got someone to betray one of the Ostrogothic strongholds at Verona, and while a force of 100 men snuck inside and threw open the gates, the 11 commanders of the Byzantine army assembled outside bickered about how to split the loot from the town, and so caught up were they in this argument that no one ever actually ordered their army to go through the now open gates. Before the commanders were done infighting, the Ostrogoths had re-seized the gate, and the Roman force trapped inside had to leap over the city wall in an attempt to escape. Shortly after that, a Roman force of 12,000 was scattered by 5,000 men under Totila, and Italy became theirs for the taking. Save
Holy
for a
shit.
few major cities and a few well-fortified coastal towns,
Fuck.
all of Italy, all
Oh.
of Belisarius's hard-won conquests,
Oh
fell
my
to the Gothic
God.
forces. Even Naples,
Dude.
with its strong walls,
Jeez.
couldn't stand against the Ostrogothic king. Twice the
Oh,
Romans
God.
tried to resupply it from Sicily, but twice they failed. Once by having their fleet scattered by the fleet of Totila, and once by nature herself when
Holy
the wind
shit.
turned against them. And when Naples...
So you're telling me they're gonna fail like this? Oh my god, man. And Belisarius is not gonna be victorious anymore. Holy shit, bro.
Isolated and starving, at last handed over the keys to the city, Justinian knew it was time. He needed to get Belisarius back in the fight. But the empire was already strained to its limits. Justinian made Belisarius underwrite the cost of the war, sending him off essentially without an army to collect conscripts along the way. But through all of Thrace and Illyricum, Belisarius could only raise 4,000 men. And when he got to Italy, he found the situation to be even worse. There were very few Roman soldiers there, and they'd already gone for years without pay. Morale was at rock bottom, and every day more of them deserted to go join the Ostrogoths. Belisarius had to start all over again, from the very boot of Italy. He secured a few towns and established a presence in a few ports, but soon he found himself out of resources. He had neither the men, nor the arms, nor the supplies he needed. And at the same time, many of those that he'd recruited along the road to Italy got word of the fact that barbarian tribes had invaded their homeland and deserted to defend their own families and farms. And while Belisarius had a few successes, and would on occasion even best Totila in the field, he could never capitalize on those successes enough to move the war forward. Plagued by insubordination and low morale, he couldn't even defend Rome, the city he had spent so much of his life trying to bring back into the empire. The goal that had personally cost him so much. The Byzantine Empire just couldn't support the war in Italy any longer. The ravages of the barbarians, the assaults of Khosrow, the utter devastation of the plague, all of these had sapped the empire of its vitality, of its strength. Its reserves had all been spent on monumental buildings and grand campaigns, and when these waves of tragedy had hit, there was simply nothing left to fall back on. And so, though Belisarius was able to briefly reoccupy Rome, he was soon recalled to defend Constantinople, never to reunite Italy, and never to campaign again. And Rome, that city that was to be his and Justinian's legacy, fell again to the Ostrogoths not long after he departed. Meanwhile, rebellion had flared up in Africa.
That's a massive failure, holy shit.
And the same old story of lack of pay, disunity of command, and plague spreading through the army kept the rebellion alive for years. Fortunately, this rebellion was eventually successfully quelled the same year Belisarius withdrew from Italy, a much-needed victory amidst so many losses. It had cost more time and money than it ever should have, but at least it would not go the way of Italy. Then, in 548, Theodora died of cancer.
Holy shit!
Justinian wept at her casket.
Oh my god! I thought Justinian was gonna die in the previous part, but Theodora died? Holy shit, this makes me even more sad for her, man. She worked so hard to keep him alive and shit. Oh my god, man. She was everything to Justinian. I hated Justinian. I still hate for some things he does. But Justinian and Theodora, they're made for each other, bro. Holy shit. They're like the perfect soulmates. Holy shit, man.
Indomitable emperor in tears for all to see. He would not marry again, even though he lacked an heir. He chose to name his nephew-in-law as his successor, rather than betray her memory. But even as she...
Yeah, I mean, like when you're so much in love and when you have someone, you know, someone like your wife or someone die like that, like how can you go and remarry, you know what I mean? It's disgraceful, for at least in your mind, you know what I mean?
He had neared her death. The entire time, he never forgot his empire. After so many failures and setbacks, many others would have just sunk into dejection and let the empire rot, but never Justinian. Say what you will about him, but Justinian never once abandoned what he thought to be his duty. He worked to slowly put the pieces back together with the same tireless spirit he had applied in the glorious days after the Nika revolts. But
that must be so depressing, you know? This is why I feel like some of the things that we do in real life, trying to get that beautiful fame and richness and all that shit that we try to do, we try so hard to become rich and famous and shit. Sometimes at least a lot of people try to become, you know, rich or famous, you know, but once you get there, it's completely emotionless. And if you lose all of it, then you're gonna be in, you know, the most traumatic time of your life, you know, like Justinian. Once you become rich, make sure you're rich and never lose anything, you know what I mean? If you lose anything, even if you lose a little bit of fame, it will hurt you so bad. So I'm glad that I'm not like striving to become some great guy or anything, you know. I mean, this is the result of it. So I don't know. It's just much better to stay a normal guy. You know what I mean? Just a normal guy, have a good family, enjoy your life. You know, life is not worth fighting too much for, in my opinion. But whatever, you know.
without the same joy. He continued the war in Lazica, but prevented the conflict from turning into an all-out war between the Byzantines and the Persians. He tried to reorganize the defenses to put up some resistance to the ever-mounting barbarian raids from the north. He began to get the Byzantine economy moving again, and though it was often complained about, he re-established a system of taxation to slowly fill the imperial treasury, and to pay for all the armies he needed to protect an empire assailed on all sides. And though the weight of the world could be seen on him after Theodora's death, though he had perhaps lost some of the fire he once possessed, and no longer found as much joy in his old passions, he did undertake one last great project. A project.
If you're gonna become like a big leadership person, you're gonna have, if you're gonna become something big, make sure that you're fucking emotionless and almost like a product. You'd rather be a product. You'd rather be a machine working to achieve new heights than be a human with attachments. Because this is what's gonna happen. Your passion will fucking die off and shit, and you're gonna have heartbreaks throughout your life with the most, beloved, or your relatives leaving you alone and shit like that. Things will happen and things will turn out so bad. It's much better to fucking be a normal guy than, or if you're gonna become a big guy, then be a fucking machine with no attachments. In fact, you should be so furious as a machine that you will turn away everybody that comes to you with any sort of attachment. You know what I mean? That's how you should be, like complete rock solid. Only then you can achieve that so-called new height that everybody's looking for, or else just stay a normal guy, enjoy life, give it to your son, whatever you have, and rest in peace. End of story,
Project that had been most dear to Theodora. It would perhaps be the greatest he ever embarked on, and it would perhaps be his greatest failure. One last time, Justinian attempted to heal the split in the church that had plagued his empire. A split that would do more damage to the empire than barbarian raids or Persian kings. One which would last for centuries. If we talk more about Byzantium in future series, this split is gonna keep coming up. Now, when most of us think about splits in Christianity, we usually think about the split between Protestant and Catholic, but this divide was just as bitter and ran just as deep. This was the divide between the Monophysites and the Orthodox. It was a problem that Justinian had studied for years. Theodora had been Monophysite. He himself was Orthodox. Their reign was supposed to be a symbol of unity, and yet the divide had persisted. He had many times tried to find solutions, but nothing had ever stuck. But he had one final grand idea. The church was split concerning a complex theological question over the singular or dual nature of Christ. But in practicality, it really came down to whether one accepted or refused the decisions of the Council of Chalcedon, where the dual nature of Christ had become orthodoxy. Justinian thought that he'd found a clever solution in the fact that the three strongest voices supporting that dual nature view also came from the now considered heretical Nestorian branch of Christianity. So, if he could just get everybody to condemn those guys, they could serve as scapegoats for the problem. Monophysites could accept Chalcedon, and everybody could move on. He had made this proclamation in the year 543 while Theodora was still alive, but he would fight to get the leaders of the church to sign on for the rest of his life. He worked to see that the Pope, who was staying with him during a period where he was exiled from Rome because it was in Ostrogothic hands, endorsed his view. The Pope eventually gave in and agreed, though with great reluctance because he knew exactly what it would mean to his followers in Italy. He knew what would eventually prove true. This would not heal the schism in the East. Rather, it would simply end up creating a schism in the West. And so Italy has fallen. Theodora is gone, and the great project that their union was supposed to symbolize, the healing of the faith of the empire, lies in tatters. But slowly, Justinian is rebuilding. He's not done yet. So join us next time as we conclude the reign of Justinian.
Holy shit! My god! Okay, that is fucked up, alright? Too much. Too fucking depressing and too much fucking, what do you call it? Like, dark, very dark, man. And we just got out of the plague with in the previous parts, and possibly Justinian dying, but nah, But Theodora died. Isn't that fucked up? That's crazy, man. It's heartbreaking. Even for me, I feel bad. You know, what the fuck? Okay, but yeah. The next part is the final part. I don't want to react to it yet. You know, I want to take a separate video, separate reaction for it and talk about it a little bit. But yeah. Wow, what the fuck? I didn't expect Theodora to die. Holy shit. The emperor who never sleeps, and apparently his passion died out. Tried his best, but apparently still has, you know, he's never gonna, you know, fucking back down. That motherfucker gonna step up, man. Justinian ain't no joke. He's kind of mean and fucked up too. He still has that skills. Okay, he he can do it. All right. Holy shit. This was what the fuck happened. This is insane. This is insane. And also, like, he never married again. That's like, that's true love, man. Where do you get to see true love? People don't even believe in love nowadays. Isn't that fucked up? That's so fucking crazy. You know? Look at this comment. Theodora, a woman who supported her husband in his darkest hours, who gave him strength, who never left his side. Justinian, a man who never married again after the death of his wife and continued working and honored his wife's legacy. Now, that is true love and loyalty most of us can only dream of. I mean, it takes so much hard work to maintain such a loyalty and, you know, such working, hard work towards keeping the love pure and clean and have it consistent throughout, between two of you, throughout from the beginning till the end. You know what I mean? But what a pure love, man. This is like true love story. Holy shit. Okay. And I feel bad for Justinian, but I feel so bad for Theodora too. Like, holy shit, man. So yeah, that's it for this reaction. If you like this reaction, please subscribe to this channel. Okay, this is my main channel. I upload like once a week, and that's because I keep getting copyright struck on my backup channel, and really have no interest in doing reactions, and this channel is never gonna go anywhere. But some people do watch it, so for them, for their sake, for your sake, for your entertainment, I react to these things. So if you like this reaction, if you find that, like, you know, a bit of pity on my channel, so please, if you like it, please subscribe to this channel. Go check out my backup channel. There's like Napoleon stuff over there. It's completely dead. That channel is dead, but there's a lot of content there, so go check it out. All the links are in the description. And yeah, can't wait for the next final part. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen then, you know. Fuck, and Belisarius' situation is even worse. He can't even do anything anymore. Holy shit. But if you like this reaction, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys next week with more content. And there's a lot of content coming this right now as well, so please subscribe to both my channels. Show me support. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.